Once you're connected here in Windows 8.1, maybe you're on a network with other people, there's something called HomeGroup that allows you to set up which files and folders you're going to share with other people. All you do is create the HomeGroup, generate a password, provide that password to the people that you want sharing your files and folders, and you're connected. Let's take a look at it now. From the start screen, we'll begin to type in HomeGroup. Notice here on the right-hand side we have HomeGroup settings, choose HomeGroup and sharing options, and then down below we also have icons representing the old desktop environment for accessing those options from there. HomeGroup, change HomeGroup password for example, find and fix problems with HomeGroup. Well, we're going to go directly to HomeGroup settings here, and because we see that wheel cog, we know that it's going to stay in this Windows 8.1 environment. Let's give it a click. So it takes us to our PC settings, into network, and highlights HomeGroup. There it is. Now earlier, if you were following along with me when we were looking at connections, we turned on something in our network. Let's go there and make sure that the Find Devices and Content slider is switched to on. If it's not, when you go back to HomeGroup, you won't be able to create a HomeGroup until you turn that on. So this allows us to share libraries and devices with other people on the network. Let's go down to the Create button to create it. Your HomeGroup is going to be protected with a password. So once you've distributed the password to the people that you want sharing, they'll be able to go in and share things like documents, your music, your pictures, videos, and your printers. So if you want to allow them to share your music, you click the slider. That gets turned on. If you want other people to have access to your pictures, videos, documents, you would turn those on as well. I'm just going to leave music and pictures turned on. And again, we'll click each of those sliders to turn them on. We've created a HomeGroup now, and down below is where you're going to find the password. So the password here, if someone else wants to join, is what we're going to give them. So you provide that to people, and you now have a HomeGroup set up. You're sharing some of your library, some of your files, maybe devices as well. I'm going to turn on any printers that might be connected. That way they can use my printer. And there's one more option down below, which is to allow devices on this network, maybe you have a TV or a game console attached, to stream music and videos if they're being shared. So we can turn that on too. There we go. All right, so we have our HomeGroup set up now. And because we're connected and we've set up a HomeGroup, we're going to see this anytime we return to the HomeGroup. So if we go to Connections, for example, maybe add a VPN connection, come back to HomeGroup, we see all of these settings where we can make adjustments, including leaving the HomeGroup. When we click Leave, we're going to go back to the original screen we saw, which is to create a HomeGroup. Now, if there are other HomeGroups that have been created by other people on this network, you're going to see them as well, and you'll be able to join them if you have the password. So the beauty of a HomeGroup, again, is that you can start to share things like your libraries and devices with anyone else who's on the network, but only those you provide a password to. All right, let's go back now by pressing the Windows key on the keyboard, and we'll type in the beginnings of HomeGroup again. And this time, we're going to go to the HomeGroup icon that's going to take us back to the old desktop environment. Because if you're accustomed to working with HomeGroups already and you've been doing it in this old environment, this is where you may want to continue to work with your HomeGroups. So here we can share with others. We get some information about HomeGroups. There's the Create a HomeGroup button. And then we also have some other links for starting the troubleshooter, changing advanced settings. But let's create our HomeGroup now. Again, information about what we can do with a HomeGroup. Click Next. There are those options we saw from the Windows 8 start screen. And you can see the things that we decided we would share. And then when we click Next, we'll be sharing with this password. It's provided for us. We can print it out and instructions if we want to give that to people. But really what you might want to do is just simply highlight it, right-click and copy it so you could send it to someone, for example, in an email if it's not all that confidential. When you click Finish, notice there's a message that appears temporarily up here at the top that is currently sharing the libraries on this computer. Some of the options might not be available until sharing completes, so we got to let that happen. And it could take a few moments. But eventually that will disappear. Down below you'll see the libraries and devices that you're sharing, and of course you can change that if you wanted to. Other options down below include going back to view that password, maybe print it out if you wanted to, just to refresh your memory. You could leave this home group at any time. There are advanced sharing settings as well that we can take a look at by clicking this link. Now from here, you'll see something called Network Discovery. And now when this is on, the computer can see other network computers, and that's the automation built into Windows. Well, we can turn that off if we wanted to by deselecting it. So let's go to Turn Off Network Discovery. I like it turned on. I always like to know what my options are. People will be able to see your home group, but maybe not connect to it until you give them the password. So that's the security of the home group. Down below, home group connections, you can see here, allow Windows to manage those connections. That's recommended. But you can use user accounts and passwords to connect to other computers as well. We'll click Cancel, just knowing that we can get into those when we need to. All right, let's close this up. We'll go back to our Start screen, pressing the Windows key on the keyboard, and try it one more time. Let's type in Home. Go to our Home Group settings again. And remember, we had just left it earlier, but because we went into the old desktop environment, recreated, turned on our sharing, you can see there's the password down below. There's all of the settings that we chose. We can make changes to them or simply leave the home group now by clicking Leave. And once again, it's disabled. So we'll give it a moment to finish up. And when it's done, we'll go back to our Start screen pressing the Windows key. And that's a quick look at home groups.
A membership to lynda.com unlocks this entire course and hundreds of others. Visit lynda.com to learn more.